Casey Gray here from The Conscious Builder. Welcome to another episode of Construction Tech Nerd, where I update you on all of the emerging technologies in the construction world, or technologies that are going to affect construction. If you haven't already, be sure to hit subscribe, hit the bell button so you get notifications for all of these videos that are coming out, including the questions that I'm answering and the current projects that we're working on. Lots happening, also interviews. So let's get into today's video. First thing I'm going to touch on is exosuit concept developed at Vanderbilt peaks at the future of wearable tech. So new exosuit designed to bring back relief. The suit can redirect forces on the body and extend capabilities and applications of existing occupational exoskeletons. As you may know, low back pain is a leading cause of disability. Exosuits have potential to improve safety and provide back relief to millions of workers in essential industries such as logistics, construction, manufacturing, military, and healthcare. So obviously this will be good. There's a lot of insurance claims based on back pain. So this is something that can definitely help get people back to work. Do I agree with exoskeletons like this? I'm not sure if I do or not. I'm still going to do more research on this. I'm still of the mind that if you take care of your body, if you stretch, if you do yoga, if you work out, those types of things, that would be best. But I can see how doing the same move over and over again is not good for back pain. But you do have to, if you're doing that, you need to offset it one way or another. I'm not sure if exoskeletons are the long-term solution. It's definitely something that can help us and something that's going to get more people back out into the workforce potentially. So not a bad thing at all. This is something that can help. You can see on this image here how it would work. So this is how it's disengaged. When it's engaged, you can see how it likely releases the back pain here. So anyways, I'll let you read more on that. We'll shoot the link as per usual down below, and we will move on to the next one. Number 2, MIT develops smart clothing to be able to measure movement. This is really cool. So I'm sure you're very familiar with watches. That is wearable technology. It can measure all sorts of different things. So I'll get into this. MIT researchers have now created clothing that uses special fibers to sense a person's movement via touch. The smart fibers can determine if the person wearing the clothing is sitting, walking, or performing particular poses. MIT researchers have developed a range of prototype wearable materials, including socks, gloves, and full vests. The socks, for example, are designed by the team where able to predict the motion by looking at different sequences and tactile footprints and correlating them to different poses as the user transitions from one pose to the next. The team's vests can detect the pose of the wearer, activity, and texture of the surface it's touching. So why is this important in construction? Well, this could be a big safety thing. This could actually, say you're working alone and something were to happen, maybe your office would get notified, or maybe you're in a confined space and you have somebody that's outside of the space, whatever it may be. This could be a very big safety thing to make sure that people are actually working and not maybe passed out if they're in a confined space, for example. So this I could see having a lot of safety benefits on the construction site. So we'll keep an eye on that. A lot of really cool things happening with this. Move on to the next one. Number 3, autonomous Polaris GEM neighborhood electric vehicle launching in 2023. The company is jointly developing a self-driving shuttle with Optimus Ride, which currently operates pilot loops in Brooklyn, Washington, D.C., and several other locations using prototypes built on the Polaris GEM E6 platform. The vehicles operate on fixed geofence loops among pedestrians and traffic at speeds up to 25 miles per hour using an array of cameras and LiDAR to monitor their surroundings. The project is targeted primarily at providing transportation in planned communities, campuses, and mixed-use developments, but can also function on public roads with regulatory approval. Riders can either find one of the vehicles at a stop location or hail one using an app. Harrington said the company has already provided 75,000 rides and so far has a clean safety record. So how does this affect construction? Really, this affects construction because of how our neighborhoods may be designed. The need for owning a car is becoming less of a necessity and more of a want, right? You don't need a car anymore. You can just call a car and not have to worry about maintaining a car and making those car payments and so forth. You can make a good case for that. Now, with current circumstances and COVID, do people want to use car sharing? Probably not, but that's not necessarily going to stick around forever. So these are things that we need to think ahead about, right? So how are neighborhoods going to be developed? A lot of talks in neighborhoods about the infrastructure for charging electric cars and not the infrastructure not being able to support it. And there's a lot of emerging technologies. Obviously, solar panels are getting better and better. So producing your own electricity on site would be one of those things. But one of the concerns is if everybody has 2 cars in a neighborhood and they're all charging, can the grid actually support that? And in most cases, no. But will everyone own 2 cars? Do you need to own 2 cars becomes the question. And chances are, no, you do not. And maybe you have 1 car. We're all working from home as well. So the need for 2 cars in a family will become less important, right? If everyone's working from home, you just maybe need that 1 car to do the errands, and that can be shared amongst couples. And if you don't need that, there's going to be things like this within communities. So things to keep in mind as future communities are being developed. These are things that are happening out there. And in my opinion, actually, I'll add one more thing. Driving is a waste of time. If you don't need to drive, you could be doing something else. You could be working while you're driving, right? If you have a 45-minute car commute to get to work or to wherever you're going, you can make use of that time instead of actually driving yourself to that location, right? So that would be an hour and a half in both directions where you can read if you want. Obviously, a lot of people listen to podcasts and so forth. I'm one of those people. However, you could be doing something else instead of driving. And the last thing I want to touch on today is Google alum startup Cartkin and Reef Technology launched Miami's first delivery robots. Self-driving and robotic startup Cartkin has partnered with Reef Technology, a startup that operates parking lots and neighborhood hubs to bring self-driving delivery robots to the streets of downtown Miami. After a few test months, the Reef-branded electric-powered robots are now delivering dinner orders from Reef's network of delivery-only kitchens to people located within 3/4 of a mile radius in downtown Miami. Lindenberger is hoping the presence of robots in the streets can act as a force multiplier, allowing them to scale while maintaining quality of service in a cost-effective way. So this is food delivery robots. Why is this in construction? Well, this is just the beginning of automated deliveries. There's a lot of wasted time on construction sites where maybe you forgot a box of screws, maybe you forgot something small, or you have to go to the store, you have to call. Especially now, the delivery services are backlogged because as of right now, as I'm recording this, we can't go into any of the stores where we live. Everything's shut down, so you have to deliver. You have to do curbside pickup, or you have to order it ahead of time and give yourself enough time because they're backlogged. Things like this for smaller orders could actually help quite a bit. There's obviously robotics and all sorts in the warehouse and so forth. But if you could get automated deliveries like this, especially for small orders, that will speed things up. Hopefully, you're not just last minute on everything and you're having to place all these small orders. But either way, this could be working into construction. Now, the downside I see to this is Miami is easy to do this because there's no snow, but where we live, there's snow. How is this going to work in the winter? Maybe you put tracks on these robots or something. They are kind of cool looking. You know, put some tracks around there. Maybe they can go up and down stairs and through snow, whatever it may be. So anyways, potential, like I said, I'm looking into things that could affect construction or could help construction. And technology like this is something that I see coming down the pipe eventually to help construction continue to be more efficient and for us to be more efficient on site and to keep costs down. So I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Construction Tech Nerd. Until next time, live consciously.